Welcome to the Online Zone. I'm your host, Julio Rodriguez, and today we got on the phone David Sands. How you doing, David?
Good, Julio. Thanks for having me.
Now, David, I want to give the audience a quick background of your accomplishments. And, well, first off, 17 final tables in 2009 for our OPOY qualifying events, and 6 of them are wins. So not only are you getting there, but you're closing it out pretty often.
Well, that's an interesting stat. I knew about the wins. I didn't know about the final tables. So, yeah, that's about 33% win rate of the final tables. I'd definitely pick that in the long run if I could get it every time.
So I'm assuming you're pretty happy with that. Now, this year alone, you have wins in the Sunday Mulligan, the $55 rebuy. You've won and also another final table at Cake. And you took down event number 10 at the last F-Tops.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty good. But then this week, or should I say 2 weeks ago, you caught fire. You won the Sunday 500, and you finished second in the Wednesday quarter million. Is it just one of those times where everything's clicking for you?
I mean, yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't admit I was on a major heater. I've been running good in key spots late, but I think also a large part of that is I've been spending a ton of time working on my game, and just feel like, as you said, it's kind of clicked when your confidence is up and you feel like when the money goes in, you're going to be able to hold if you have the best hand, or you're going to be able to win flips. It's really hard to express how much that helps your game because just having that confidence behind you really enables you to play aggressive, solid end game.
Now, getting to the Online Player of the Year race, you currently sit in 4th place. You're one of only 4 people in the world who has over 6,000 points right now, and it's a pretty elite group of players, with Sean Deeb, Steve Gross, and Nick Grippo. I mean, do you feel you belong in that company?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely it's an elite group, and I feel honored to be mentioned along with those guys, but I definitely feel like I belong there. I think the thing that separates those guys from me is that, traditionally they've been putting in a lot more volume than I have. I mean, especially the top 2 guys, Nick, G-Boro and Sean Deeb, they're playing about 5 times as many tournaments a year online as I am. So, it's pretty amazing to me that putting in such significantly smaller volume, I'm able to keep up with those guys. But like I said, I've just been running well in the big weekend tournaments, and when you win them, you obviously get a lot of points. So just got to try to get 1 or 2 more wins throughout the rest of the year, because I'm definitely not going to be putting in the same type of volume that the guys that are in 1st and 2nd are.
Now, according to our database, you have over $1.15 million in career earnings, both online and mostly online. You want to talk about your live play thus far?
So I've been obviously putting in a lot more time on the internet than I have live. I've put in a pretty full World Series schedule. I was in Vegas for 2 months and played about 20 events. I was happy with my play on the whole summer. I had only 2 cashes in the World Series, but I had 5 day 2s. So I was making a lot of deep runs and turned up the aggression around the money bubble, which is, I think, part of the reason I find myself winning a lot of tournaments is because I don't care too much about min cashing or, trying to double or triple my buy-in. So I really like to turn up the aggression around those money bubbles, and sometimes it backfires and you bubble a couple tournaments, but in the long run, I think it's definitely the most profitable strategy because you can accumulate chips more easily around those times, and then once you're in the money, you can really have a good chip advantage over the rest of your competitors. So I'd say that my World Series was pretty positive on the whole, but I was a little bit a product of getting aggressive around the money bubble and bubbling a couple of big tournaments.
Now, would you say that you had to go through any sort of adjustment period when you made it to the live tournaments for the first time? I mean, was there anything they just completely shot out at you as different?
I mean, by far the biggest adjustment is just that you're playing one table, and so you're a lot more bored, frankly. And to compound the boredom, not only are you playing 1 as opposed to 12 tables, but the cards at that table are coming out about a third as fast as they would online because, the dealer has to deal and people have to be reminded to put their antes out and pots have to be chopped and misdeals happen. So none of that stuff happens online. And I guess the biggest adjustment for me is just kind of taking a deep breath and sitting back there and saying, all right, this isn't an 8-hour tournament like the equivalent online would be. It's a 3-day tournament, and so I need to be playing, 20% as fast as I would in the online tournament. So I feel I'm a naturally aggressive player, and so just toning that down a little bit and really waiting for good spots to apply the aggression is probably the biggest adjustment I had to make.
So I guess I could say that you have the typical online ADD.
Yeah, I don't know if it's ADD. It's just a desire to make people squirm in their chair, and I just love 3-betting and 4-betting and putting people all in when I know they're faced with a tough decision. And if after you play a tournament for 2 hours online, the antes are already in, and so you can really profitably play that kind of a hyper-aggressive strategy, whereas in a live tournament it might take 8 hours till the antes come in. So you really, in order to play an optimal strategy, you should be sitting back a little bit more early on. And so just kind of a tweaking of the switching gears part of my game and getting aggressive a little later as opposed to as early as I do online.
All right, I may regret this question, but I got to talk about your screen names. SirSands and DocSands, they make sense to me, given your last name. But what is Sex Scene about?
I actually have no idea what that's about. I don't even really remember making that star's name. I was probably 18 when I made it, so
18 for sure. 18, not 17.
Yeah, it's definitely a juvenile screen name. I actually emailed PokerStars to see if they would let me change it. Believe me, I would much rather have it be DocSands or SirSands, but they said, and I quote, I would be gaining an unfair advantage over my opponents because they wouldn't recognize who I was. I tried to tell them that I'm fourth on Card Player OPY, so obviously all the good players.
Yeah, I think you'd be more recognized under SirSands anyway.
Right. So, the short version of it is I guess it was a juvenile mistake, but one I'll have to live with for the rest of my online playing career, unless Stars decide to make an exception and let me switch it.
Yeah, it might be one you're stuck with. All right, David, well, I appreciate you coming on the show and talking to us, and good luck the rest of the year, and, you don't have very much to make up now. I think Sean Deeb's only up on you by about 700 points, so there's definitely a window of opportunity there.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we got a real big W coup, so try to get a couple wins in there. And either way, it should be a fun finish to the year. I'm excited to watch it play out.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
I'd like to thank you guys for watching the Online Zone here on Card Player TV.